So it turns out, brothers and sisters, that the ideas of economic and social and racial and environmental justice are not so radical at all. They are what the American people want. We have come a long way in the last 4 years. Now is the time to complete what we began. Now is the time to turn our vision and our progressive agenda into reality. Now is the time to complete what we began. Because nobody, especially this president, is above the law. Now, I'm delighted to be here in California. This is our first trip here in this campaign. And I want to say to you, based on the incredible crowds that we saw in San Diego and Los Angeles and here today, I think we're going to win California. I think we're going to win the Democratic nomination. I think we're going to defeat Donald Trump, the most dangerous, dishonest president in American history. And with your help, we are going to transform this economy and this government and create a system that works for all of us, not just the 1%.
The chair of the San Francisco Democratic Party, I want to say that I'm here in my personal capacity, but I am proud to say that this San Franciscan will be voting for Bernie Sanders for the next president.
Brothers and sisters, those ugly anti-American sentiments are going to end, and they're going to end soon. The principles of our government are going to be based on justice, economic justice, racial justice, social justice, and environmental justice. Now, I think we all know that Donald Trump and his friends, they want to divide the American people up. And you're right. Matter of fact, you're right to boo. And I'll tell you why. In a democratic society, people can disagree on a whole lot of issues. That's called democracy, and we have friends and loved ones whom we disagree with. Disagree on healthcare, education, whatever. But it is not acceptable to me, nor to the American people, that we, for the first time in modern American history, actually have a president who, for cheap political gain, wants to divide us up by the color of our skin, by our gender, by where we were born, by our sexual orientation, or by our religion. That is not what a president of the United States does. A president of the United States brings us together, does not divide us up. So our campaign will do exactly the opposite of what Trump is doing. He wants to divide us up. We are going to bring our people together. black and white and Latino, Asian American, Native American.
But I am here today on behalf of all of those undocumented kids who, like me, risked their lives to say that this is our country as much as anyone's. I am here because I still believe in the American dream, but that is a dream that is in peril. It is a dream that is in peril because this country is no longer giving young people the opportunities that I received. The American dream is no longer a reality for so many kids of color throughout this country. And we have a man in the White House who keeps going after people like me. Now, Trump has targeted many people, but perhaps no one has been targeted more since he announced his campaign than the Latino community.
When we talk about justice, it means that we will no longer sit idly by and allow this country to move into an oligarchic form of society where a handful of billionaires control the economic and political life of this nation. When we talk about justice, we will not allow 3 families in this country to own more wealth than the bottom half of American society. While at the same time, more than 20% of our children live in poverty. We have veterans sleeping out on the street here in San Francisco. And 30 million Americans have no health insurance at all. That is not a just society. Woo! Justice means that we will no longer allow 46% of all new income go to the top 1%.
The San Francisco Bernie-crats have been building bridges with other local organizations and local communities. For example, we've been working with DSASF to fight for tenants' rights. We've been supporting the work of the Latino Democratic Club in the fight against inhumane deportations of immigrants. We've been supporting the fight to prosecute killer cops with the wealth and disparities. We've been supporting the work of wealth and disparities in the Black community.
When we talk about justice, we're going to end the absurdity of corporate CEOs making 300 times what their employees make, while at the same time, millions of Americans are living in despair and without hope. And if you can believe this, over the last 3 years, life expectancy has gone down in America because people have lost hope. People are turning to drugs, they're turning to alcohol, and they're turning to suicide. This campaign is about bringing hope back to all Americans. Yeah! Justice in America means that we will not tolerate 25 hedge fund managers on Wall Street earning twice as much money as the 140,000 kindergarten teachers in this country. And when we talk about justice and injustice, we are also talking about racial injustice. It is not acceptable to me, in the midst of so much income and wealth inequality, that Black families today own 1/10 of the wealth of white families. Not acceptable that the infant mortality rate in black communities is 2.5 times that of white communities. And that the criminal justice system remains significantly racist. So when we talk about justice, we are talking about ending institutional racism in all of its ugly forms.
The color of someone's skin, i.e. African American men and women and Hispanic men and women in this country in a prison system that is unfair. What the people want is simple. We want no more private prisons in the United States of America. People shouldn't be able to make a profit off of other folks' misery.
Since Trump has been in office, we have seen a significant rise in hate crimes, crimes against African Americans, against the Jewish community, against gays, against immigrants, and against Muslims. And this is not just an American phenomenon. This is taking place in Europe and all over the world. We were all shocked by the mass killing last week of 50 Muslims who were in a mosque in New Zealand. As your president, I will not have kind things to say about authoritarian leaders around the world. Who espouse bigotry and hatred, and we are seeing more and more of that all over the world. Together, we will once again make the United States of America the leader in the world in the fight for democracy and human rights, in the struggle to bring this world together around our common humanity. What it means is that to me, and I know to you, democracy means one person, one vote, not billionaires buying elections. And here's the truth. The truth is that no president, not Bernie Sanders, not anybody else, no president, no matter how honest and well-intentioned he or she may be, can do it alone, okay? And I'll tell you why. And again, media is not going to talk about this too much, but this is the reality. The reality is that the people who own America, Wall Street, and the insurance companies, and the drug companies, and the military-industrial complex, and the fossil fuel industry, they are so powerful that no one person can do it alone. The only way we transform this country is the old-fashioned way, and that is from the bottom on up. The only way workers ever got a decent standard of living is when they struggled and formed unions. The only way we ever ended segregation in this country was when we had a grassroots civil rights movement. The only way women have ever made the gains that they have is because we had a grassroots women's movement. The only way the gay community has received the dignity that they have is because of the gay movement. The only way we transform this country economically and politically is when millions of people from coast to coast stand up, look around them, and say the status quo is not good enough. We want real change. Goal of healthcare must be to provide quality care to all people, not to make billions in profits for the insurance companies and their CEOs. Here is what a dysfunctional, absurd healthcare system is. In 2017, the top 65 healthcare CEOs made $1.7 billion in compensation. And that is why, together, whether the insurance industry likes it or not, we will pass a Medicare for all single-payer program. My Republican colleagues in Congress got a brilliant idea. They want to cut Social Security benefits. Well, we got some bad news for them. Ain't gonna happen. Quite the contrary. We're gonna raise Social Security benefits. Transform our energy system away from fossil fuel into energy efficiency and sustainable energy. And when we do that, we're going to create millions of good-paying jobs. We're going to be weatherizing our homes, weatherizing our buildings, create an efficient rail system, a modern transportation system. We're going to invest in solar, in wind, in batteries, and in other technologies. No more private prisons or detention centers. And we are finally going to terminate the so-called war on drugs. We are going to invest in affordable housing. We're going to invest in public education. We are not going to invest in never-ending wars.
And he's absolutely playing their hand. It's not a second. I feel that way about it.